Hi. Hi, people. Please come. I'm texting the Discord as well to remind everybody on the Babycastles Discord to come. And that's a good moment to say, if you would like to join our Discord, you can find that link below on Twitch. So let's start off by maybe just giving a shout in the chat room. Say hi, Lauren. And then give me a little wave if you're there. And then I'm gonna also come over here and say, hi everyone. Class is in session. It's a fun one about setting goals. Join in at twitch.tv/Babycastles. Hi, Leaps. Cool. Great. Okay. Is that Lee? Is that who Leaps is? Regardless. Hi, Leaps. Speaking of goals, I had a good one today, which was to get ready for this class. And so I even showered for you guys, and I put on a little bit of makeup. Whoa, that's phenomenal. It's like the first time in maybe 5 weeks. Has it been 5 weeks now? Something like that. All right, I'm gonna one more. Come to class, please. Twitch.tv/Babycastles, and then we'll get started. And then when people join in, we'll just onboard them. So thank you very much for coming. This is actually a class that I teach at SFPC. So I should start there maybe. Hi, my name is Lauren. And today we're basically going to go over setting goals and why we want to do that. So who am I? My name is Lauren, and I am a partner at the School for Poetic Computation. I'm also one of the organizers at Babycastles, and I used to run the after-school programs at IBEAM, and I used to do all those things at the same time, and it's a lot of work, and I found that it was hard for me. I have a pretty scattered brain, and and it was hard for me to keep track of all the things that I needed to do. But I found that I was really productive if it felt like I was working towards a goal. And I developed this process as a product manager for many years. I worked for news organizations for about 15 years and did a lot of software development. I was a product manager. And these are two of the organizations that I work for. I always found this slide really funny because I worked for Turner for about 10 years, and then I went to Thomson Reuters, and then there was just one day where this was how the two of those news sources decided to focus on what was happening that day. This is what was in the news. But as a product manager, my job was to keep things on track. and there were a lot of contractors, and there were a lot of employees, and there were a lot of departments. And as a product manager, you're not actually responsible to, for those people. Your goal is basically to set a vision and then drive everybody towards that vision. It's a lot of group consensus, right? And giving people the autonomy to make their own decisions about how to get towards that direction, right? So, again, going back to these new jobs that I basically had, when things started to get really scattered, I realized that I could be a product manager for myself and just apply the same learnings that I had when I was a product manager, that I was actually kind of getting paid for, and then apply those to my own projects. So I started developing this idea around personal product management and teaching the students at SFPC. And that's what I end up doing now, is I teach the students at SFPC how to basically come up with an idea, define that as a goal, and then work towards that in whatever form it is, whether it's, becoming a independent artist and being able to make money that way, changing your career path, or even just building like a really big project that's going to take a lot of time. So again, we're going to talk about setting goals and why. And a lot of the feedback that I always hear is like, why? Because things are always going to change. And yes, that's completely true. This is one of my favorite quotes around that, which is, plans are of little importance, but planning is essential. And the funny thing is, it was attributed to Churchill, but I don't know. It's sort of like the way that everything is attributed to Mark Twain, but it really probably wasn't them that said it. And this is one of my favorite pictures that just kind of illuminates that. It was, if you can see, you think it says Babycastles, but it actually says Babycasts, because once the intern got into the process of actually making the sign, they ran out of space. So that's fine. We're going to get there anyway. It's adorable. Yeah. So like, why do we set goals if the plans always change? Because it's important to have a direction. This is just what I've found. And again, if I'm using this for my own brain, then I know, and I can give myself the, I should say the patience to allow myself to change the direction that I'm going in, as long as I know that I'm kind of heading towards this one North Star. And we'll talk about North Stars in a little bit. And I'm sorry that that's like kind of a nebulous, fuzzy term, but it helps because life happens, situations happen that are outside of our control, such as COVID, right? And your plans are going to change all the time. There's really absolutely nothing that you can do about it. But as long as you know kind of what direction that you're heading in, then you can weather these changes a little bit more easily, right? You're never really sure. So what if you don't know what you want, though? And that's valid. Like, I don't feel like I always know what I want either. But I'm going to give you an example for how we make decisions at Babycastles in this case. And then you can see if you can apply that to yourself. At Babycastles, we actually make decisions as a group. We found that for the first life of Babycastles, it was led by individuals, and a lot of times we ended up doing what individuals wanted to do. And that's fine for a while as an organization, until you realize that people need space to grow. And in order to have space to grow and become leaders, you need everybody's voice to be equal. It's very hard to do unless you have frameworks around how you make decisions as a group. And one of the easiest ways to do this is for an organization to make decisions against a mission, right? So what we did is we had a process where we all sat down in a room, all the people in Babycastles, and we put a bunch of words on a wall, basically. And the words were things that were just important to us. When we thought of Babycastles, what were some of the terms that came up? And then we started filtering out what words were common among people, or what words we felt like articulated us the most. Just kind of weeded that down to 3 words. And those 3 words were diversity, community, and IRL. I know. It's kind of hard right now, but we're trying. Yes, Bobo Castles. Yes, I know. And so those were words that about a dozen of us came up with and decided were going to be our North Stars, right? Those are the things that were going to guide us. Now, how we decided to get to those North Stars is our mission. And the mission can change because obviously, like, our mission, when we have a physical space, when we were able to do events in our physical space, is very different than it is right now. But our values are the same, well, except for IRL. But we're really trying. We're really trying to have this IRL transcend into the digital world too, I should say. So your values are going to be your North Star, right? That's what guides your ship. Your mission, for example, for Babycastles, to provide artist support to actualize ideas and expose that work to new audiences, is the ship. That's how we get to the North Star. In today's class, our mission are basically our goals. Your mission are going to be your goals. Does this make sense? Thumbs up. Type in the chat if I'm being too nebulous or I'm using too many weird marketing slangy terms. Sometimes I do that, and I'm really sorry. It's those years of like working in an office that come back and haunt me every now and then. So today, we're not necessarily going to be doing these values and mission work and assignments, but this might be a good thing for you to do just on your own. And again, an easy way to do it is maybe stickies, if you have sticky notes, or just a piece of paper, and write down a ton of words that you feel like are, really meaningful for you. And then go back and try to find 3 of those. And those can be your North Stars. Okay. So, again, Lauren, this is all great. I'm not a nonprofit, right? So how does that relate to me? Yeah, you're not a nonprofit. You're probably an artist if you're watching this, though. And you are your own boss, and you're probably the worst boss you've ever had. And this is one of those sad realizations that I had about myself when I thought, like, if I was working for myself, would I want to quit? And the answer was yeah. And so I realized that I had to be a better boss to myself, to my head. And in order to do that, I had to be more forgiving, right? Because I was really hard on myself. And then I also had to be more flexible as a boss. And so this is part of this goal setting. I don't want you to feel like what we're doing today are things that are set in stone and you have to live with them and then be angry at yourself if you don't achieve these goals, right? This is just a process that you can iterate on, and you can do as frequently as you want, honestly. So with that, don't feel like, again, this is all set in stone. This is flexible. But I do want you to think about goals that you can believe in, right? Goals that are worth the effort and focus that you're going to put into them. Again, another process is I would like for you to, after this, go back and write down your North Stars. And to think about the fact that if your goals and your North Stars don't make you a little bit uncomfortable, it's probably not important enough for you to actually put time in, right? So like a goal about picking up your room I mean, hey, that might make you feel uncomfortable, and if so, that's really good. No judgment here on that. So that's really good. But our goals should make us feel like they're taking us a little bit outside of our comfort zone. And we're going to talk about that because that is resistance. And resistance is something that is very powerful for you to figure out ways to work with, right? Because what happens is that when you do something that you feel a little uncomfortable with, and when you challenge yourself, when you give yourself that challenge and you achieve it, you feel good. Like you feel really good. It gives you that momentum. Resistance doesn't listen to logic. Resistance feeds on fear, right? That's that voice that you sometimes hear in your head that says, like, this is too big, I'm not going to get this done. Resistance only listens to power, and momentum is power. So the more that you can like achieve these goals, even if it's small, tiny steps, the more that resistance, that voice goes away. Another thing, writing down a goal doesn't mean or doesn't make it less likely to occur, right? So just like buying life insurance doesn't make it more likely that you will die. This happens a lot of times because people like hesitate, I think, to write down their goals. I don't know that I know that there's like a psychological reason for this. I think I forgot what it's called, but it's sort of like this fear of commitment, right? And so sometimes we hesitate to even take those first steps to articulate what it is that we actually want in the world. And again, that's the resistance. So do write down these goals, do revisit them. I encourage you to put them in a place where you can actually look at them. I actually have a whiteboard for this explicit purpose. And the reason it's a whiteboard is so that I can erase it, because I know that my goals are always going to be malleable and changing. And that's fine, right? Again, your goals can change. Totally fine. And the other thing is, sharing a goal with a trusted circle isn't humiliating. This is another thing that's sometimes hard to do, is to go out to the world and say, this is what I want, this is what I'm working on. And maybe we hesitate to do that because we know people who are like that, and we feel like they're being maybe pushy, or there's tons of reasons why you might not feel like you want to share your goals. But what we want to do today in this exercise is work on that and create a safe space with which you can use to share and articulate what it is that you want. I find that it's very powerful, because once you actually share your goals, you'll find that people say, that's awesome, that's great, you should totally do that. And it's a very encouraging process. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to individually write out our, not questions, ignore that, sorry, this is from another workshop, but we're going to individually write out our goals. Okay, we're going to spend 15 minutes, yes, an activity. We're going to write out our goals. I'm going to show you what that looks like, right? You're going to have 15 minutes reflective time to sit there and work on your goals. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the next step, which is getting and giving feedback. I have a Zoom room that we're all going to kind of get into and split up into little groups. And we're going to take our time, like reviewing everybody's like goals as a group, and then I'll walk through that process as well. It's basically 3 minutes to read through your goals, 5 minutes to give feedback to that person, the other people will. You always end it by thanking the person for sharing, and then what we'll do is we'll come back, share reflections and review, and we'll talk about next steps. So, all right. Here we go. I want you to go get a piece of paper. All right? Just a big piece of paper like this. And then what you're going to do is you are going to kind of draw, like right down the middle, just a big line right down the middle like that. Oh, I did have questions on one side. So never mind. Again, this is for SFPC, so you don't have to do that. Okay, well, never mind. I guess you didn't have to draw the line down the middle, but it doesn't matter. Maybe we'll have like feedback on one side. We'll do that. Okay. Feedback on one side, and then goals on the other. My goal for the next time is to prepare this for an online streaming class. That's one of my goals. Your goals can be, related. If you know what your North Stars are, that's awesome. Your goals could be big. Your goals could be little. It honestly doesn't matter. At this point in time, this is just an exercise and an activity for us to work on getting that little monster in our head who likes to give us resistance to be quiet. Okay? So, with that, let's see if I can change this little stream. And what I'm going to do is put up this beautiful, let's see if I can get it. Yeah, I know I can. My goal, one of my other goals, is also to figure out how to stream better. Oh yeah, watch this. There we go. So, for 15 minutes, listen to the waves and write down your goals. We'll be back. Hi, Everest. Are you writing your goals? I'll type this down. Oh, now I have to figure out how to get myself back. All
All
right,
right,
here
here
we
we go.
go.
Hold
Hold
on.
on. I
I
hid
hid myself.
myself.
There we
There
are.
we are.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome
Welcome
back,
back,
everybody.
everybody. I'm
I'm
glad
glad that
that
we
we
had
had that
that
time.
time.
Oops,
Oops,
it's
it's
still
still happening.
happening. All
All
right.
right.
I'm
I'm
glad
glad
we
we
had
had
that
that
time
time
to
to
focus
focus
on
on
what it
what it
is
is
that
that
we were
we were
deciding to
deciding to
focus on
focus on
and our
and our
goals.
goals.
Oops.
Oops.
Thank you,
Thank you,
timer.
timer.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
our
our
next
next
step
step
is
is
that
that
we're
we're
going
going
to
to
group
group
off.
off.
And
And
before we
before we
do
do
group
group
off,
off,
I
I
want
want
to
to
talk
talk
about
about
giving
giving
feedback.
feedback.
And
And
this is
this is
actually
actually
something
something
that
that
you
you
can
can
use
use
in
in
whatever
whatever
project
project
you
you
have,
have.
but I
But I
think that
think that
feedback
feedback
is
is
really
really
kind of
kind of
one of
one of
the
the
best
best
gifts that
gifts
we
that
can
we can
give
give
other
other
people.
people.
The
The
importance
importance
in
in
giving
giving
feedback,
feedback,
though,
though,
is
is
to
to
give
give
constructive
constructive
feedback
feedback
that is
that is
not
not
critical,
critical,
right?
right?
Why do we
Why do
do
we do
this?
this?
What's
What's
good
good
about
about
getting
getting
and
and
giving
giving
feedback?
feedback?
Basically,
Basically,
getting and
getting and
giving
giving
feedback
feedback
means that
means
you
that
can
you can
see
see
someone's
someone's
point
point
of
of view.
view. You can
You can
understand their
understand their
assertions.
assertions.
You can
You can
contribute
contribute
insightful
insightful
comments,
comments,
right?
right?
Multiple
Multiple
perspectives
perspectives
give
give
you a
you a
bigger
bigger
picture,
picture,
and
and
the bigger
the bigger
picture is
picture
what
is what
allows
allows
you
you
to
to
leap
leap
forward
forward
like more
like more
efficiently and
efficiently and
effectively in your
effectively
own
in your own
learning,
learning,
right?
right?
Because a
Because a
lot of
lot of
people
people
have a
have a
lot
lot
of
of
experiences
experiences
that
that
you
you
don't
don't
necessarily
necessarily have.
have. So
So
that's a
that's a
gift
gift
when people
when
decide
people
to
decide to
share
share
their
their
thoughts with
thoughts with
you a
you
lot
a
of
lot of
times.
times.
Commenting on
Commenting on
projects is
projects
really
is really
about
about
reflection.
reflection.
It's not
It's not
criticism or
criticism or
commenting on
commenting on
goals.
goals.
It's
It's
about
about
shining a
shining a
light
light
where
where
someone might
someone
not,
might
or
not,
someone might be
or someone
hiding
might be
or not
hiding or
see.
not see.
So think
So
about
think
that
about
when you're
that when
actually
you're actually
giving the
giving the
feedback.
feedback.
Try
Try
to
to
meet
meet
them
them
where
where
they're
they're
at
at
and
and
give
give
them
them
maybe
maybe
like some
some
insights
insights
that'll
that'll
allow
allow
them
them
to
to
expand
expand
their
their
horizons just a
horizons
little
just a
bit
little bit
more in
more in
different
different
directions.
directions.
But
But
it's
it's
about
about
their
their
process,
process,
not your
not your
process.
process.
It's
It's
about
about
their
their
goals,
goals,
not
not
what
what
your
your
goals
goals
are
are
for
for
them,
them,
if
if
that
that
makes
makes sense.
sense.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So,
how
how
do
do
we
we
give
give
good
good
feedback?
feedback? It
It
begins
begins
from
from
empathy.
empathy.
Empathy
Empathy
is
is
not
not sympathy.
sympathy. Empathy
Empathy
is
is
demonstrating that
demonstrating
you
that you
understand
understand
where
where
that
that
person
person
is
is
at.
at.
It's
It's
not
not
about
about
sympathy
sympathy
is
is,
yes,
yes,
I
I
have been
have
there
been there
too.
too.
This is
This
what
is
it was
what it
like
was
for
like for
me.
me.
That
That
is
is
sympathy. You're
sympathy. You're
being
being
sympathetic.
sympathetic.
Empathetic is
Empathetic
putting
is
yourself
putting
in
yourself
their
in
shoes
their shoes
completely,
completely,
right?
right?
Sympathy
Sympathy
is about
is about
you.
you.
Empathy is
Empathy is
about
about
completely
completely
letting go
letting
of
go
your
of your
ego
ego
in
in
this
this process.
process. So a good way to phrase those types of that feedback is say, from an empathetic standpoint, is say, I think you are saying, but I think I'm missing something in your explanation, or what I'm hearing you say is this, is that right? Um, Ask questions. Don't make statements. Ask questions. So another thing you can do is like find something about their approach that resonates with you. Like if their goal, you can say like, I really liked your goal in this, right? This isn't, sorry, the ones that are written are actually about projects and project ideas. So if it's a goal, you can say something like, I really liked this goal. Tell me more about it, or how much different is this than your normal life? Would this be a big change or would this be a small change? Right? Ask these questions. The other thing is don't sugarcoat, because we're all here to help each other. So if a sugarcoating or like a or something that's like a glib surface level would be like, that's great, I think that's great, you should do that. That's helpful and that's nice, but or I won't even say that's helpful. That's nice, but it's not helpful. So if you're trying not to make surface level comments, then maybe you can say, that's a great idea, but I'm not sure how you would implement this. How would you implement this? Or what would your first step be to implement this? Or that sounds like a big thing. It's really cool, but it sounds really big. How would you break this down? So be helpful. And give feedback again in the form of open-ended questions. Questions really help people think through their approach, right? Because sometimes it is a clear picture in our mind, and we stop there. We don't really like break down these big pictures that we have, and that's what we're really trying to work on when we communicate these goals with other people. And that's the gift again that we can give them, is how do we help them break down these really big goals. So some of these things, again, this is written for projects for SFPC. So it's like, have you thought about what kind of sensors you might use to trigger the events? What do you want people to experience for your project or walk away feeling? So for personal goals, think about open-ended questions that make sense for whatever the goals are that people are sharing. Right. Things to avoid when giving the feedback. We talked about that. Surface congratulations. Like, we're here to push each other forward. So good job or wonderful, it's great, but just not 100% of the time. Completely redefining their project or their goals in this case. You have to put yourself in their shoes. This is their journey, again, not yours. Complex, specific answers instead of open-ended questions. So don't, if you're going to give feedback, again, try to go with the open-ended questions to keep the dialogue rolling. Your job is to trigger the conversation, not take over the conversation. Okay. And then also, is the person open to feedback? Are they comfortable with giving the feedback? If they're not comfortable, then don't give it. When in doubt, leave it out. Don't push. Feedback should create the tension of possibility and not distress. So here's what we're going to do. I have, let me grab this URL for us, a Zoom. And if you would like to share, then let us jump in here. Bing. And then what we'll do is we will split off into little groups. And how this works is that you are going to introduce yourself, right? Hopefully there'll be like 3 of us in a room, because it looks like we have 5 viewers plus me. So then we'll have 2 rooms. We're going to split ourselves into groups. We're going to introduce ourselves. Just say like, hi, I'm Lauren. We're going to take turns sharing our goals. The first name closest to the letter A in the alphabet is going to share first. So if your name is Anne, you share first. If your name is Ben, you are the timer. Okay? The way that this works is we have 3 minutes for the first person, Anne, to read through their goals, right? Don't explain them, just read through them. Then we have 5 minutes for Ben and Cindy, with a C, to give feedback, right? And then at the end of the 5 minutes, which Ben is going to time us for, Ben shares, and Ben has 3 minutes, and Cindy is going to time. Repeat the 3-5. At the end of that, Cindy is going to share for 3 minutes, and then Anne is going to time. Does this make sense? If it doesn't make sense, tell me in the chat. Right? If you'd like to share, jump over to the Zoom. And at the end of your session, just thank everybody. And we're going to do this for another like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 15, wait, 30? 15. We're going to do this for 15 minutes. Total. I don't know. I'm bad at math. We'll figure it out. Are people joining? Did anyone click? Are you clicking? Are you coming? Are you guys not sharing? Oh. Well, tell me. Okay, if you're too nervous to share, I have to download Zoom. I'm sorry. Okay, good. I'll wait. I will wait. Thank you. I will wait for you, Samo. Sam's gonna join, and we're gonna share our goals. Yeah, if you guys are too nervous to share your goals with strangers, that's understandable. I would then just suggest that you maybe find a group, or you can do this exercise with your friends too, or if you are in a community organization, you should totally do this with your community organization. Just take a little screen grab of this thing and do that. Oh, wait. Is someone joining my Zoom? It was really strange. I just started hearing myself. Oh, is anyone going to join? If so, I need a link again. I got disconnected. Oh, okay. Link is coming. What? Come on. Oh, weird. Right. Launch meeting. Allow. Oh, wait, there we go. I think I have like two Zooms. I don't know how this is happening. Cancel. Okay. Wait. All right. Okay, I'm here with you. Right? Sam? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, audio is not working? Okay, so Zoom is going to be a problem. I thought we would need this because I thought like we were going to create breakout rooms. But if we're not going to do breakout rooms, then you know what I'll do? I will just make a Google Hangout. So let me do that. Boop, 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 boop.
Whoa.
Whoa. What happened? Something happened. I hit the alert box. Oh no. Psych Drive followed us. Thank you, Psych Drive. Okay. Let us set up a Google thing. And we're going to call this goal sharing. Okay. All right. So, new room. Forget the Zoom thing. Who needs Zoom? Sam, you want to join me in Googs? Technology is hard. Yeah. I had fun trying to set this up for today, like all the different inputs. Doing a class, I have so much respect for all the teachers who are having to teach remotely now. I think it took me like a full hour just to get all the stuff set up, and I really didn't get to set up as much as I wanted. All right. Oh no, it's saying a problem occurred. What is going on? All right. Oh, yeah! We got one person. We got a Lee. Hi, Lee. Can you hear me? Yes. Great. Okay, they can't hear us on Twitch. That's fine. But let's wait. We have Sam who's also joining us. Are you having crazy feedback? It's okay. Oh, so Sam, wait. In Googs? Yes. We're gonna share goals, not on Twitch. That's okay, I'm sorry. Mine is doing that too. I found it only worked on Chrome. Lee, did you have that same thing where like the Google Hangouts only works on Chrome? Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Sam,
Sam, do you want to try or do you want to? Want to pull Sam in? Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna
I'm gonna
do
do
crazy
crazy
feedback for
feedback
one
for one
second,
second,
but I'm just
but I'm
gonna
just
tell
gonna tell
Twitch
Twitch
to
to
chill for
chill for
15
15
minutes.
minutes.
Everybody on
Everybody on
Twitch who
Twitch
is
who is
not
not
joining
joining
this,
this,
take this
take this
time to
time
work
to
on your
work on
North
your North
Stars.
Stars. And then how do I do that? Hold on. Window. Oop. 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 And then it was this. This is really fun, but it's also very confusing to manage all these different tabs. All right, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think um like I'm learning. Oh wait, shoot. See, now you can still hear me. All right, hold on. see. Hold on. All right. I think I'm back. I'm back. Okay, great. All right, everybody. So, what we did is we went off into our little rooms and we had a conversation about uh, our goals. And I would encourage everybody who's in this chat room to do this with your friends. It's a really nice process to actually go through articulating what your goals are and to hear that feedback. Um, and then we're going to talk about our next steps from here. Oops, I should have showed that. But the reflections. For people who participated in this process, I'm curious, you don't have to answer in the chat if you don't want to, but if you do feel comfortable typing into the chat room what your experiences were, go for it. Did you find any similarities or differences between your lists? Not the, sorry, that's like, okay, hold on. Uh, did you find any similarities or differences between your goals? Were there goals that might have related? And could you see a way for maybe them to be grouped together? What did you learn from your group that surprised you? Was there any feedback that maybe was like a little voice in your head, but maybe it felt a little bit stronger when someone else articulated it for you? Like, yeah, you know, if someone else says it, it's like, yes, you're right. Whereas, like, if you just say it in your own head, maybe you doubt yourself, right? Um, what did you learn that you were excited by? What kind of feedback did people give you? Castles, yes, it's helpful to hear other people to rephrase things. Yeah, it really is. Um, yeah. And again, that insight. Ask clarifying questions. Yeah, to focus. Did you have anything new that maybe you wanted to add to your list after you got that feedback from people? Sam, that's great. It was nice to get some affirmation, but also to be pushed a little. Yeah, it's scary, right? It's scary at first. You don't want to articulate these things because you're afraid. But if you can create that context for how to give that feedback, and then people are giving that feedback, it does make you feel motivated, right? Going back to those that what's that word? The friction, that resistance that's in our head. Yeah, got to find ways to get over those that friction. What are ways that you can maybe do this for yourself? Is it hard? Is it too hard to do this by yourself? Yeah, that thought loop. That thought loop is the problem that I have when I try to do this by myself, which is why I find it's a lot easier to go through this goal sharing process with other people. Do you feel more energized? Do you feel more motivated? Well, I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed this, and I wasn't sure if it would actually work over Twitch. And thank you for being patient while I was trying to figure this out with like Zoom and the Google and everything. And I'm glad that we got some participants. And this brings me to really the next step. And this is something that I'm going to put out into the community because as we're all now trying to figure out how to live our lives online, but still be a community space and still, as remember the Babycastles values, one of them is IRL. And since we can't be in each other's presence. Maybe we can be in each other's web presence. Should we do this again? Would it be helpful to have maybe a once a month check-in? Yes, yes. Oh, a resounding yes. I've got two yays. This is fantastic. Great. Well, then I'm going to work on that. Thank you very much. I will add that to my goals. And there's something that I want to leave you with now. You can take a screenshot of this once a month for sure. Cool. Yeah, I agree. More than that is like, I mean, I don't really move that fast on my goals. So once a month is good. I might have some progress, or I might have some more questions that I definitely want that feedback on for sure, to help me get unstuck. So I'm gonna leave us with some thoughts that we can all work on separately and maybe take a screen grab. I don't move faster than that. Me neither. So this guy is a character. His name is Zig Ziglar. And if you look up YouTube videos of Zig Ziglar, especially the 7 steps of goal sharing, you might think differently about me. He's very like kind of southern and almost like has that arena preacher vibe, right? But he's like the original motivational speaker. Like this is where all the other motivational speakers learned their tricks from. And keep that in mind as you're watching this because you're gonna kind of go like, oh no, when you look at him, if you do Google him. My AirPods died. Let's see. La la la. Okay, there we go. All right. I was wondering why I was getting feedback. All right, anyway, technology. Ha. Okay. So when you are working on your goals, some of the things to think about are how your goals can relate back to your North Stars. Okay. And again, this goes back to like a lot of the decision making process that we have for baby castles if we decide to do something or not. Goals are smart, right? You have to make smart goals. Smart goals are achievable. What does the acronym stand for? I might have to look this up. What is it? I forgot what the S was. Man. Anyway, you can Google SMART goals. It's an acronym. Basically, S is, I don't know. Yeah, S is something measurable, achievable, time-based, R, whatever. Anyway, relatable, maybe. So I don't, whatever. The ones that I always found the most helpful are they are measurable and they're time based, right? And so his 7 steps help you articulate specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Babycastles. Um, but yeah, exactly. All of your goals are going to take time. All of your goals are going to take effort. And all of this is something that is very taxing to your brain when you have other things to worry about in the world, like getting your unemployment and your pandemic unemployment assistance, or applying for your personal paycheck protection program, and all this kind of stuff. And if you can keep your business afloat. So do yourself a favor and realize that you have to break your big goals down into smaller goals. And if they don't help you achieve your North Stars, then they're fine to put on the side, right? You don't have to work on them. We give you permission, and you should also give yourself permission to say, not now, right? This is not my goal for right now. This is not the most important thing, and I'm going to put this off on the side. So I thank you for the time that we have spent today. I appreciate you all hanging out. And I should have been mentioning this before, but there you'll see like up above over here and over that way. If you enjoy the content that you see here on Baby Castles, every Sunday we do Baby Castles Academy, which all of us, almost all of us at Baby Castles are teachers, and we are all mentors in some way, but we like to share our knowledge. So every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m., we will be hosting for free a class or some sort of session, all taught by the volunteers at Baby Castles. So please join us for that. And if you would like to support our efforts, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. That means that we only do things for the public good, the common good, and any profit that we get goes back to sustain our mission. And so we gladly take donations through Venmo or PayPal. The links are below in Twitch. And you can also become a member of Baby Castles. And the link to become a member is over there. It's withfriends.co/Baby Castles. And if you become a member, then you get really fun things from us. And fun things are nice, like all these awesome t-shirts. Look at that. That's so cool. And all hand screen printed and cool pins. And we're actually working on a newsletter drop right now for a bunch of games that'll be a lot of fun. Thank you, Sam. And I am going to follow up later and post on our website. Oh, thank you so much, Martivus, for following us on Twitch Prime. That's great. That also gives us money, and it comes out of Jeff Bezos's pockets. And we like to take the money out of Jeff Bezos's pockets. Great. So thank you very much again for your time today, and we'll see you at a future Baby Castles event.